morning, everybody. I've heard people say, man, I wish I could hear from God. Well, we have His Word. We have His book. It's called the Bible. There's three things about the Bible I want to point out to you this morning just by way of encouragement. Number one, the Bible is a holy book. Have you ever noticed that you can bring any book you want to school? You can bring magazines, whatever. But if a kid walks into school with a Bible under their arm or lays that Bible on a lunchroom table, it causes all kinds of havoc. People start looking and wondering what's going on. You know, that book is a holy book. That book is inspired. That book is inerrant, without error. Anything wrong with it at all? There's nothing wrong with it at all. If you find what you think might be a mistake, the mistake is with you and not the book. It's a holy book. You take that book, and if you want to try out what I'm saying, walk into an elevator and have that Bible under your arm. It makes people uncomfortable. You could have any other book under your arm. People say, hey, what are you reading? This, that, and the other, just by general conversation. But that Bible makes people very uncomfortable because it is a holy book. Number two, it is a helpful book. When you're down, it'll bring you up. When you're too high, it'll bring you down. All these kind of things. If you need to be brought in, it'll bring you in. If you need to be brought out, it'll bring you out. All those kind of things. It is a helpful book. And number three, it's an honest book. Honest by that, I mean, if I was going to write a book about my kids, I would write a book and tell you all the good things that my kids do and have done and accomplished and all those kinds of things. I wouldn't tell you the bad stuff. I mean, they're my kids, you know. I wouldn't want to tell you the bad stuff. But God wrote an honest book. And by that I mean, He not only tells you the good about David, but He tells you the bad as well. Not only does He tell you the good about Lot, He tells you the bad as well. Not only does He tell you the good about Abraham, He tells you the bad as well. Not only does He tell you the good about Peter, He tells you the bad as well. On and on we could go all through that Bible. Now what that means is God just didn't write a book and tell us all the good stuff about His kids. He told us the bad stuff as well. Why? Because if there's hope for David, and there's hope for Lot, and there's hope for Abraham, and there's hope for Peter, then there's still hope for you, and there's still hope for me. No matter what you've done, get it under the blood. Get it behind you. Forget it. God has forgiven you and forgot it, so you need to do the same. That whole book is a perfect book written by imperfect people. God can draw a straight line with a crooked stick. And He can still use you, and He can still use me. So lift up your head, get encouraged today that, listen, that Bible is a holy book, it's a helpful book, and it's an honest book. And if there's still hope for those people in that book that God used to write His precious word, then God can still use you in some way, form, or fashion. So find out what that is. Ask God. Get on the right path. Get in the will of God. And don't worry about anybody else or what they may say.